You don't need expensive protein powders. Most important, weighing scale के पीछे भागना नहीं है, because being thin should not be your goal. Being lean and strong should be your goal. As women, the main blockage that comes is relationships. Whether it's a love relationship gone wrong, because for me, 80% of my trainees say, I went through a bad breakup, I went through a bad divorce. They lose the plot about their health when this comes. And it always boils down to an emotional blockage. As women, we are such emotional creatures because our hormones drive us. It's science, right? And then coming out on top with a really kick-ass body is, it's such a turning point. Because a kick-ass body is not just a kick-ass body physical. It gives you a kick-ass mental attitude. So people don't take me lightly. But there's a reason, right?
Today in our podcast, I have someone really special. Only 50-year-old woman in India who does the muscle up. Was one of top 10 most influential fitness creators in 2020. Was awarded with Time's Most Inspiring Women Awards in 2021. So awarded by the Pune Nari Shakti Awards in 2022. So awarded in the Pune Women Leaders Awards in 2023. This year, in 2025, she is one of the top 50 most iconic women in India by Women Icons of India. Hi, Zareen. What an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. This is my first podcast.
Really?
And I am so looking forward to doing this.
I'm super excited about this. Zareen, behind the camera that we were talking about your journey, and there is so much that in our personal lives, what we don't put out there on
Right.
social media.
Right.
There are a number of experiences, personal and professional, that we as women go through. But there is hardly anything that we actually put out there on social media. If women would actually share their experiences, it would be so inspiring for so many other women.
So many. I think the word is empowering. Because how you deal with your experience, and if you come out a winner, it sort of empowers so many other women who are sitting on the fence,
Absolutely.
wondering, would I, should I, and
Yes.
So when you have a few examples on social media who are out there and grinding it out and making it, I feel it empowers so many others who are waiting, in the wings, wondering that will I be able to do this. So I feel putting your experience out there makes you so much more relatable.
Yes.
Because human experiences are very generic. Whichever part of the world you're in, as a woman, your experience in a relationship or in a career or as a mom is very common.
Yes.
It could be a woman from this part of the world or another part of the world. Our struggles are uniquely women. So when a woman talks about her experience, I feel she empowers so many others.
I agree. I totally agree. And let's dive right into your journey. You are a fitness icon yourself, and you've had so many accolades. You've had so many awards. I think every year you're just shining and getting better at it.
Thank you so much.
So there is so much that we would want to know about your personal life, about your journey, personal and professional.
So personally, so I've been in the field for a decade now, and I think my growth chart is purely because of a passion that I carry. That I literally want any woman who watches me to feel that what am I doing sitting? I need to get up and work out. I need to get up and move, and I feel that is something that I bring forth on my social media, and that is very natural because I am so passionate about the fact that health is so easy to maintain. Why are we taking it for granted? And every time a trainee comes to me over the years that I've been working, it's close to a decade now, and a trainee says, I have tried everything and I'm just stuck. And it always boils down to an emotional blockage. As women, we are such emotional creatures because our hormones drive us. It's science, right? And we tend to hold on to so many emotions. So for me to work as a coach, I also work on those triggers that, a trainee just needs to release. And then when the emotion is out, I see the physical transformation. So for me, it's a passion to work with the trainees, but also dig in that what is it that is, blocking her path to good health. And it's very simple to maintain good health. bit of movement, a bit of care on food, which I feel I simplify in my work. And I love, I absolutely feel I've been blessed by the universe because I love this journey. I live, breathe, eat, literally what I post on social media. And I'm so glad that, the life that I lead is inspiring so many.
Lovely.
So it's a blessing.
So, according to you, mental health holds equal importance than
Not more.
equal importance in your fitness journey.
Very true. Because I feel emotionally, any trigger that we hold on to, and emotionally, anything that is blocking our expression, actually boils down to then a psychosomatic form of either weight gain,
Yes.
or a disease. Cancers in women are so typically
Common, yes.
psychosomatic. So I literally feel working with your mental stress, working with hidden fears, working with inhibitions, working with repressed emotions that is so common in Indian households. So mental health encompassing all this, and then coming out on top with a really kick-ass body is, it's such a turning point, because a kick-ass body is not just a kick-ass body physical. It gives you a kick-ass mental attitude. So people don't take me lightly. But there's a reason, right? So that's what I try and say, that the minute your physical health comes in your grasp, it is so easy to then become a power to reckon with mentally and emotionally.
So, what are the biggest misconceptions about sustainable weight loss which you would want to debunk?
I love this. So, weight loss, and the two or three things which I need to highlight that we hear so often, that you need protein powders, expensive protein powders, without that you can't be fit. You really need to eat like a sparrow, right? And third is that the weighing scale is your be all and do all. Your weight on the weighing scale does not decide. Being thin is something that we need to stop chasing as women. And being strong and lean is something that we need to start chasing. So the three, I feel, for me, three things would be: you don't need expensive protein powders.
Really?
You don't need to work out excessively कि 2 घंटा आपको जिम में वर्कआउट करना है sustainable weight loss के लिए. And yes, most important, weighing scale के पीछे भागना नहीं है, because being thin should not be your goal. Being lean and strong should be your goal. And that is very easily achievable. खाना सही खाना है, लेकिन पेट भर के खाना है. That is another thing, that पेट भर के नहीं खाने मिलेगा. पेट भर के खाना खाना है, because society is so important. जब तक आप प्लेट से खाने से satisfied होके नहीं उठेंगे, that's not that is not a sustainable weight loss. आप 4 दिन बाद you will be eating something that satisfies you.
Yes.
So the meals have to be small, but the satiety level of the meal has to be really high. And I guess that's where a coach comes in to teach you that this is in your plate, but this is going to satisfy you as if the meal was this big. And that's the trick too. Easy to do, and nothing too extensive.
Okay. So the three things are, you said one is
we don't need expensive, diet pills, protein powder, supplements. We don't need that. We also do not need to work out excessively कि आप 4 घंटा walk कर रहे हैं या 2 घंटा आप weight उठा रहे हैं. And third most important is कि आपको खाना ऐसे खाना है जो आपको satisfy करे. Satiety होनी चाहिए आपकी प्लेट में. कभी-कभी लोग इतना खाते हैं और आधे घंटे बाद फिर खाने लगते हैं. That's because the quality of what they are eating is so wrong. And then it's a vicious cycle. खाना कम खाना है, लेकिन वो इतना आपको satiety satisfy करे कि आप 4 घंटे तक you are full, right? Because you've eaten well and you've eaten within the means that satisfy your body in terms of calories. So that's the trick. Easily doable. Any coach can, who's good, is going to show you the way, and it's very doable.
So how does fitness play a role in managing diabetes?
Yep. So, type 2 diabetes is what we are worried about, because that is a lifestyle disease now, especially in Indians, because हमारा portion पे control नहीं होता है. अगर हम खाने बैठेंगे तो हम 4 समोसे खा के उठेंगे. And our palate is mostly carb driven. So as Indians, we are sedentary by nature and our food is carb driven. So yes, type 2 diabetes is something that is so rampant. And then type 2 diabetes leads to so many multiple issues. So you'll have cardiac issues, you'll have non-alcoholic fatty liver, in children as young as 8 and 9 nowadays. And all that stems from the fact that आपका type 2 diabetes hai, you have excess sugar in the blood. And fitness plays such an important role. Why? Because like I said, there are two reasons. Being sedentary and carrying abdominal fat, right? They go hand in hand. And why is it a vicious cycle? Is because हमारे fat cells, fat tissue releases this chemical called cytokines. और cytokines body में inflammation produce करते हैं. Inflammation is a word we hear everywhere. And लोग बोलते हैं inflammation होता क्या है? Now inflammation is आपको अगर कट लग गया तो वहां पे आपको सूजन आ जाएगी, लाल हो जाएगा, we say inflamed. सोचिए अगर वो आपके बॉडी के अंदर कंटिन्यूसली सेल्स में वो स्टेट है बॉडी की, that body is an inflamed body, right? And why? Because we have these irritating chemicals which are causing the body to go into this response mode where the body stays inflamed. Inflammation drives type 2 diabetes. And when you have type 2 diabetes, कि आपके जो शुगर है ब्लड में वो इंसुलिन हार्मोन उठा के सेल्स पे नहीं ले जा पा रहे हैं बिकॉज सेल्स ने अपना दरवाजा बंद कर दिया है, that type 2 diabetes again leads to more inflammation. So that is the vicious cycle. Carrying abdominal fat because fat tissue आपका inflame कर रहा है body को, plus being sedentary, तो आपकी जो muscles हैं वो sugar utilize नहीं कर पा रही हैं. Muscles सबसे बड़ा source होता है sugar pick up करने का blood से. So if you are a sedentary person who's not even doing the post meal walks, who's not even doing the mandatory 8 to 10,000 steps a day, forget exercise. If you are so sedentary because of your job or just because you're not bothered, you are actually causing so much damage. Because it's not just that, oh, I'm pre-diabetic or diabetic. You also will have then cardiac issues, you'll have BP issues, you'll have non-alcoholic fatty liver issues, and it's ultimately a big thing that leads to tons of diseases. So inflammation, that the word, I feel that word drives from the fact that when you have central obesity, those fat cells cause inflammation. And inflammation then comes to a place where it causes less sugar to be picked up from the blood because insulin becomes ineffective. Cells have closed their doors, they become insulin resistant. तो आपका इंसुलिन कितना भी नॉक करेगा, शुगर आपके ब्लड में तैरती रहती है and then damages all the other organs where it goes and settles, right? So yes, being sedentary is a big no. Fitness, even if it means just walking 10 minutes after your meal.
I was just about to ask that, so what you're saying is movement.
Movement.
Throughout the day.
When we say fitness, it means mobility, movement. Being sedentary is a killer, right? Being sedentary is what's giving you the disease when you're talking of type 2 diabetes. So the more you move, the more you combat diabetes. Also, it's not something कि ये मेरी फैमिली में है, मेरे पेरेंट्स को डायबिटीज है, आपके पेरेंट्स जो खाना खा रहे थे आप वो खाना खा रहे हैं इसलिए आपको डायबिटीज है. आप अपना खाना और लाइफस्टाइल चेंज करिए, आपकी डायबिटीज आपके पूरे फैमिली से निकल जाएगी from your family tree. So don't pass it on to the next generation. Start getting up and moving a lot more, and also please make sure that you are eating your food in such a way that you're not dumping excess sugar on your body. So big connection between.
So according to you, in short, morning to evening, when it comes to movement, what do you think should be the schedule?
So I feel, literally as a lay person who says ki I have no interest in exercise or no way or means because, I'm a daily wage worker or I'm a woman who has to look after in-laws and this and etc. etc. I literally feel just being on your feet through the day does the trick, right? Eating smaller meals and making sure that you're on your feet, especially being aware that in this hour, something as simple as doing 50 squats every hour is so much more effective than going for a walk of 1 hour. So find out tricks like that. There are simple exercises where you're sitting in your office desk and all you're doing is seated calf raises. Where, you are like this and all you're doing is lifting. Seated calf raises about, read up about it. And this is a soleus muscle. We talk about the calf muscle. It is the biggest uptake of sugar from your blood. So if nothing else, at least do seated calf raises. Walk after your meals for 10 minutes and you'll be a fitter person.
So in 2025, what innovative strategies are you working on your journey to fitness?
As I told you, I live, breathe, eat fitness, right? That is me. And that is something that I portray on my social media because my whole forte, I feel is keep it as authentic as I can. So for me, my social media reflects me. And, recently I started the Fit and Fab Challenge. That is where I work with my trainees one-on-one. And, we were talking about the emotional and the mental aspect into fitness, where I actually work on counseling the trainees one on one through video calls, and finding those triggers, finding those blockages. There are, as women, the main blockage that comes is relationships. Yes. Whether it's a parent-child relationship where the woman has become, the caretaker of aged parents, whether it's a love relationship gone wrong, because for me, 80% of my trainees say, I went through a bad breakup, I went through a bad divorce. So that's one thing that women, sort of, they lose the plot about their health when this comes. And second, of course, is dealing with children. There are women who are dealing with autistic children. There are women who are dealing with a tough phase because, as mothers, they're facing struggles. So when I work with trainees, these are the things that I work on. And fortunately or unfortunately, I've had my share of experiences in the 50 years. So I do try and live my life in such a way where I can, sort of add personal inputs that, if I can do it, so can you. And, let's move forward from this incident and let's see how we can get a better grasp on your health. In terms of plans, I think 2025 should see me get into some sort of merchandise because I have so many plans. I'm really looking at maybe a very realistic, something, a grab snack for the travel, because that's what I've been advising trainees for over a decade. So maybe it's time to put it down to that now. Let's see, fingers crossed.
So Zareen, let's talk about your personal life. You've been a fitness icon, you've been a single mother. So how has your personal life been?
Okay, when I started my journey, I think I related to myself as somebody who was starting from scratch, life at 40. And after divorce, yes, you're called a single mother because raising kids without the help of a partner, so you are a single mother, and it is, of course, a challenge. And so personally, I think the last 10 years have been, I think I would say I've been in fighter mode, because every day I wake up telling myself, okay, what do I achieve today? And what am I doing better today? So, whether it is giving myself a goal for the year, whether it is giving myself a career goal for that quarter, something that keeps me on my toes. So there has to be something that keeps me on my toes when I get up in the morning. The fitness regime I follow, people say it's extreme, but it is something that literally drives me. If I don't do that, I would have all this energy and nowhere to expend it on. And the fact that, my career, my work stems out of a personal passion. It is just living my passion. It is not work for me. And whatever success I've achieved in terms of training people and, getting the results that I do, and the happiness that they share when they are leaving my plans is all out of a pure passion. So for me, it's not work. Every day I wake up and I thank God that I live my passion. And I think that's been my journey in the last 10 years.
So Zareen, what according to you is women empowerment?
Personally, I feel an empowered woman is a woman who can express her opinion freely without fear of, the backlash. And so it's not a woman who's out there working, or career woman, or a housewife, or somebody. For me, an empowered woman is a woman who has the freedom to express her opinion on any matter. So that is empowerment. And thankfully, grace of God, I've started 2025 with such an amazing platform, Women Icons of India. And, when they approached me, for me, just going through the profile, just understanding the kind of work they've done, and the list of amazing women that have, graced the platform, and to just read tidbits about them was so encouraging. So as women, a platform that celebrates other women, and so I guess that's empowerment. And the more women that we get to see is inspiring for us, right? So any field and every field where a woman shines and she's celebrated, I feel is so important to put it out there on social media, because there are hundreds others who then watch that and then want to, make sure that they emulate that and reach that stage. So that, I guess, is empowerment.
Thank you, Zareen. It was such a pleasure to be here and, live your journey through your talks and this interview.
And it's my first podcast.
Really?
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
It was a pleasure. And I'm sure there are so many women out there who are going to get inspired by you.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.